Hello and welcome to Game Soup. It's the game design podcast where we throw ideas in a pot and see what's cooking. I'm Chloe Montgomery and it's RPG's biggest slut.
Kayla Dice. Oh, I can't believe you left me to fill in my own name.
Yeah,
You warned me ahead of time you were going to do that, but the moment you got to it, I could tell you were so briefly like, oh, is this going to read bad? I don't want people to think...
TTRPG's biggest slut. RPG's, just all of RPG's biggest slut. Liara out the window. It's Kayla Dice.
Oh.
Asteria,
I feel...
not even a look-in.
It's funny actually thinking about it, because I was thinking about games of mine which can involve sex.
Yes.
And I think it's interesting because I feel like every game I've written which can involve sex doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Like, it's... Like, yes, I think things like Infinite Dance Floor, Swamp Creature, and Terminal kind of work better if you're maybe playing, like... If you feel comfortable in that way, playing, like, horny, messy fuck-ups. But I'm also aware you can play all of those games without doing that. I don't know if that's true of... I think maybe that's true of every sexy game, though.
Yeah, I mean... It's like Monster Hearts has sex moves, but it can also just be like recontextualized to be like intimacy moves.
Yeah, like I have...
Or like you have a hug, or whatever.
I was about to make a comment of like, oh yeah, I've played non-horny Monster Hearts games, and I was like, that's not true. You're just about to lie on a podcast.
I've never played it, so...
I really like Monster Hearts. It's one of the first games I did play. The funny thing, though, is I've played a variety of one-shots, but I have played in 3, like, attempted Monster Hearts campaigns, and one of those finished, and the other 2 failed due to a variety of breakups within the group composition, which feels like the most appropriate way for a Monster Hearts campaign to end.
Yeah.
I had a friend who, for a while, took the name they chose from, like, the Monster Hearts example of play, and I feel like that's kind of what I wanted to do with the name categories in Terminal. I'm like, I just want in 2 years to be told by someone, oh yeah, I took my name from this.
Yeah, hi, I'm Estrogen. I took my name from your pig lists.
Or ones that are more sensible stuff, but I'm just like, someone's like, yeah, I'm named after Terminal. I'd be like, I got what I wanted out of making that game. I won.
We did it. So yes, this week we have our word list already pre-picked. So I'm just going to read off our first selection of words, and it is lasers and feelings.
Huh. It's an interesting combination.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of wanted to go for the sort of one's a noun, one's a sort of verby. What is feelings? Is that a verb?
Well, I mean, feelings, plural, is a noun.
Also a noun.
Because it's about your feelings. Feeling is a verb. To feel.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm thinking it's like some sort of... Like... Where do you get lasers? Like...
I mean, like, the obvious, like, explanation is it's, like, weepy sci-fi. Though... I suppose lasers could also be like, I'm them going to, like, the fucking Tom Cruise Mission Impossible laser room thing.
Oh, I like that.
So I'm like, maybe it is about being, like... Maybe it's about espionage.
You're a bunch of espionage, superpower... Well, not superpower, but, like, super skilled heisters who have to steal the... I don't know, the cat's eye diamond from the National Museum or something, but also you're all really sad and you're all... Oh, you just broke up with your handler, and...
I think, it's like, you get a heist... But, like, the prep for the heist is never about all of the stuff, all of the stuff you do. You improvise all of that as it comes up. All of your prep is about establishing how fucking, like, cracked and fucked in the head you are going into this heist.
Yeah, and you've got to, like, make a messy, like, relationship chart for all the people in the team.
L-word chart.
Yeah, exactly. L-word chat, but instead of just straight lines, it's like dashed, this person had a crush on the other one, this person cheated on the other one, sort of stuff.
That's what I did for Infinite Dance Floor and Ritual Magic for Besties, and I now feel like... basically if I could ever justify shoehorning in an L-word chart, with, variations. I'm always down for it.
I mean, my ongoing attempt at making a PBTA dungeon crawler has sort of morphed into a school-based, school for heroes sort of thing. And so, I think, a relationship chat could work in that sort of thing. I dated the cheerleader, that sort of thing. Because, we messed with relationship points in tournament arcs. I kind of want to develop on that.
Have you seen, on Netflix, Heartbreak High?
No. Tell me about
it. It's like an Aussie, I'm trying to think of comparisons. And my mind, I guess, is going to, sort of skins, but also a bit sex education. I think sex education meets skins. But anyway, its plot point is it all starts with, two friends had for ages kept, a fucking, recording in an abandoned part of the school of, all of the hookups and activities between people.
Yeah.
This is how I learned that in Australia, they call a hand job a wristy. Which
it tells you more about how to do a good one, I suppose.
No, I disagree. That comes from the elbow.
Listen, I'm just going to admit I'm not good at hand jobs, so... Maybe it's telling me all the wrong things.
But anyway, it begins with that, and then it's discovered, so they're all put into a sort of, special, respect class. Everyone who's on the list, because it's well, you're all clearly... you're causing chaos and stuff like that. But I'm just yeah. Or burn book shit from Mean Girls. Think about kids do document. Young adults do document this shit religiously in ways that can destroy their friendships if ever discovered.
Yeah, I kind of want that sort of stuff to be magic items in this world. The burn book is some sorcerer's arcanum that has all sorts of devastating put-downs for everybody they've ever met, or the relationship chart, you can change it and it suddenly rewrites their history or something.
So actually, maybe these heists for this Feelings and Lasers game. These heists are not about you necessarily being a spy. They are always so ultra personal. They're always you're getting back at this person's ex, you're intruding on this person's mission because they broke your heart, or because they fucked your girlfriend, or because they drank your boyfriend's piss. So you're just doing Mission
Impossible stuff to ruin somebody's date or whatever? Or you're going to break into their wedding to steal the ring?
Yeah, you're kind of assholes. I think it's the fact. I also think the element is the win condition for this game in terms of your characters have grown and learned their lesson is them going, let's not fucking do this heist, actually.
Yeah, maybe this was bad.
Yeah.
Are we the baddies?
I feel this is the plot of the widely regarded as awful Tom Hardy, Chris Pine film This Means War.
I've never seen it, so there you go.
I've also never seen it, so I only knew it from trailers. But just I guess if it's the point of you being spies, but also doing ultimately shitty kind of rom-com stuff.
Yeah.
And I think this is a lot of mapping a heist in a room and the people involved. I feel maybe it's kind of a map-making game where you're essentially building the heist as a Rube Goldberg machine and stuff.
Yeah.
With roles to decide how
I don't know if you ever actually play the heist, but...
Yeah, I think it's a lot of planning, and then you roll to decide, did it go roughly well, or badly, or really disastrous, and then it's a time skip. Where it's just sort of okay, we're all ready for this, and then it's a hard cut to in fucking lockup, stand up, the bloom of smoked puffed hair and ash and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah. Do we have a name for this one?
See, I'm thinking something that's This Means War, so I'm thinking All's Fair. Or something.
All's Fair. Yeah, that could also work. I was wondering about something like My Spy.
I already have 2 mice games. I can't have another.
No, My Spy, not My Spy.
Oh, that worked.
It's I Spy, but it's also kind of possessive in a way where it's get over yourself.
I like that.
My spy.
My spy. Okay, let's go back to the word list.
Yeah.
And we are going with blades and dark.
Plural blades.
Yeah, can't just have one blade.
Neither of us are like knife girls, are we?
Alyssa is.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Like that. I've never talked about that with her, but I'm like, oh yeah, of course, obviously.
I got her a little, like, really dull, like, butterfly knife once, and that was like her stim toy for like 6 months, so it kind of got annoying, all the clacking, but whatever.
That's the date. You can't get people stim toys that the stimming is going to annoy you. You got to think ahead.
Those clicky cubes are so loud.
I know.
But the butterfly knife was fun to play with myself, so I get it.
Yeah, I get it.
I kind of be mad.
Just like go do knife tricks elsewhere. Is this a mugging simulator?
Oh, Jesus, no, I'm not buying that.
Oh, you wanted to back away from that one so quickly.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like Blades is easy. Like, I feel like maybe we come back to the Blades part of this, because that could be lots of stuff, but like dark. I feel like if you say something is like dark as a word, like I'm assuming either something like nightlife adjacent or like espionage adjacent, like with the lasers thing. But we've already done one espionage thing, so maybe we're doing nightlife.
I think, okay, come with me on this journey. There are multiple magical knives. And so you've got the light knife, you've got the, like, all the elemental knives, you've got the fire knife, and then there is this one knife to rule them all, the dark blade.
No, I like this idea, but I feel like the dark blade is not one thing to rule them all. I feel like the dark blade is maybe like an opposite of one of the other blades. Like, I think the blades often have a lot of opposites. Like, if they're elemental.
Yeah, okay, so it's the opposite of the light knife.
Yeah, a light knife, the dark...
we kind of have, like, a bit like Nemesis, but like Nemesis, the other side of the coin, the game you're kind of writing.
Yeah, I have a lot... yeah.
It's a bit of a sort of Yuri... These two fated rivals, and can they ever get past the fact that they are anathema to each other?
Yeah.
I never know how to pronounce that word. And it's
to be fair, both of us would fuck it because of our speech therapy outcomes.
There is always something drawing these two knife wielders to each other. The fire knife and the water knife or whatever. Like, extra elements could be in expansions, I think.
Yeah, I think maybe it's like everyone has an opposite, but we describe like a bunch of like different knives. And it is a case, if you're doing this as like 2-player, or like 2-player plus a GM, if we have a GM, I feel like maybe you could almost do just 2-player because of like, I reckon it's a lot of characters like really circling each other before these like showdowns, which are very sort of flirty and stuff. But I feel like, we have like multiple set of knives because it's like, this can just be a one-on-one thing, or you could start like introducing multiple characters and like alliances, and by alliances I mean polycules and threesomes and people looking for thirds. Like, that's the direction we go with this. We lean into, like, basically, we need to find all the knife perverts we know, and I reckon we probably between us know like 30. Like,
we could find some,
we could find plenty, and we make a game for them. Society hasn't catered to the knife pervert enough, and I'm sure we know we can cater to the knife perverts in our lives. I think this game is called Knife Pervert.
Knife pervert. I think knife perverts, plural.
Perverts, yeah, of course, yeah. It's like the James Cameron Alien. Like, I suggested knife pervert, and you're like, but then you drew an S on the end, but it's a dollar sign.
We're on a roll, baby. We're not even at 20 minutes yet.
Damn. What a good set of words you pre-prepared of your own
Thank you.
accord.
I think this is a good idea. We'll just do this moving forward. My next one, it's a bit out there. Dragons and Dungeons.
Okay.
Or Dragon and Dungeon. We can do singular for these ones.
I feel like the weird thing is, because we've just done... In the same way, like, Dark kind of moved away from spy stuff because of just doing espionage, I now feel like we can't do sex stuff with Dungeon. But maybe we can. What do you think?
Too obvious, I think.
Yeah. So what else is Dungeons? Like
a prison.
Yeah. So it's like a prison break for a dragon?
Yeah. My head immediately goes to Harry Potter, and I hate that.
Mine doesn't, because I thankfully never read or watched Harry Potter.
Oh, you're blessed.
I know, right? For ages people like, that's so weird, and now it's like, I won. Like, don't get me wrong, I'd rather she wasn't a massive, like, you know, I'd rather, like, a prominent author wasn't the face of a genocidal, bigoted movement, but I've had some vindication from it, so who can say how bad it really is? My mind, okay, actually, Dragon in a Dungeon, my mind goes to BBC Merlin.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It was John Hurt.
John Hurt, yeah.
Yeah. I reckon it's heisting a dragon from a dungeon.
I don't want to do another heist game. We've just done a heist game.
Yeah,
Come
that's
on.
actually true. Yeah.
You're clearly in heist mode right now, aren't you?
Yeah. We've done one heist game, one sex game, and now we've ended up in dungeon, and we can't use sex or heist.
I think it is a game about the dragon from Merlin, who I'm sure had a name.
I think, like, late in the series he did get a name, but, like, honestly, I think he went for a while without one. I think for a long time it was just the dragon.
I think it is a game about what is that guy doing between his visits with Merlin.
I don't know, it's that weird thing a lot of the time with, like, weird immortal magic animals, where it's like, they're chained up and, like, no one is feeding them and stuff. Yeah. So, like, it's a bit of a sort of, fuck, maybe this is Promethean. Like, as in, like, maybe we're doing some Prometheus kind of shit.
I've not seen that one.
No, I mean, like, the Titan and his liver pact. Where he's just chained up and, like, in this constant cycle of death and rebirth.
Yeah.
Is cycles my third theme? After shifting dreamscapes and escaping a story.
Oh, I was going to say Elworld charts.
Oh, Elworld charts, actually. That's also my third theme. But maybe cycles are the fourth.
Yeah. So I think it's probably like a game, sort of like Artifact, where you are journaling as this dragon, and you skip years at a time between entries, and you kind of like get glimpses of the world changing around you, because you're in this dungeon, you never see the wide picture of it. You only get like, oh, the new hero on his coming of age adventure has come for my guidance.
Ah, yeah, so maybe it's a lot of a case of how can you influence these heroes to your advantage to eventually, like, set up them either breaking you free or stuff. I feel it's an interesting thing where it's almost like the prelude to another story. Because I think the game ends when you get a hero or by some other circumstances, someone going like, yeah, I'll break you out.
You either get freed or die.
Yeah, well, I think it's always
natural cause. I think it's you get killed.
Yeah, that could also work. Maybe it's different clocks. Maybe it's like anamnesis. I was thinking like Laura O'Connell's solo game about being like an Arthurian wife. Had like a little like tracker. It's good, but that had a tracker as well. I think so. I'm like, oh, maybe that's that as well. But you have like different trackers, like escape or death. But yeah, I like the interesting thing that, like, I think it always ends with sort of a cut to black, like someone is going to start trying to free the dragon, or someone is going to go and kill the dragon. And, like, I like the idea here that, like, if you really got interested in this story, what your next step is then is, cool, what game do I finish this story in? I like the fact of us having not quite like a prequel, but, like, we're doing a bunch of setup that this game itself will not fire.
Yeah. I think this is like you writing your backstory for like your fantasy RPG sort of shit.
Yeah. It's like
But it
either a
doesn't even have to
backstory
be
for a
that.
big NPC or like the way a world works.
Yeah, it like
Um,
gets you like 1,000 years of history, but only like the snippets.
yeah.
And we never see what the world's actually like after the dragon escapes or whatever. That's always like never shown. Well,
Yeah,
it's quite
that's like
nice.
if you want to explore that, you probably are
Do that
capable
on
of
your own
doing
time.
so, but you've got to find a new game that will where it will carry you.
I think it's called The Dragon in the Dungeon.
The Dragon in the Dungeon. Yeah. Yeah. It's very Mad Lady in the Attic, in a way, I think.
I don't know what that is, so.
As Jane Eyre.
Oh, well, there you go. I'm not as well read as you.
To be fair, I've not actually read Jane Eyre. I just know it.
You're just a poser.
I think we're probably as well read as each other.
Oh, well.
I reckon we're perfectly matched. Like those assorted knife perverts.
What knife are you picking when you're playing Knife Perverts, then?
Oh. You know, it's an interesting thing, because we've set up people with polar opposites, but also, like, a lot of the time I reckon there's maybe, like, parallels. I don't know, what knife am I? I feel like I'm some kind of plant knife.
I was going to say you're the dog knife.
But dog isn't an element. And I have no idea what you're talking about.
And then I would be the cat knife.
Mm.
It's like this magical knife gives you the power of dog.
I think before I said plant, I was about to say bark knife, which I think would have actually... We'd have had a funny conversation where you took that in an entirely different way than I meant it.
Yes.
All the fun we'd have had.
Thank you for listening to Game Soup.
Into Game Soup.
Happy April Fool's Day.